I buy all my toys, figures, and collectibles at Big Bad Toy Store, and you can too. They ship worldwide, and you don't pay for it until it arrives in their store.
Hey, what's up? Siri Emerald here. This is an unboxing of the Doctor Strange figure by Hot Toys. 1/6 scale collectible figure. MMS 387. Look at that. Isn't that great? So you got this really cool box, and my really cool box has come broken. That's just a crying shame. Oh well, it happens. But this really cool box, you would, I guess, spin this, and that would allow that to open. And there's rear locks. But my really cool box is destroyed. So, all you that like to destroy their boxes, I'll gladly trade you my destroyed box for your non-destroyed box. So, there's that. And blah, blah, blah. It opens up, yada, yada. Destroyed box, kind of a little upset. Kind of had my thunder taken from me. Not too happy about that. I don't like that at all, actually. Makes me want to cry. Wah. So, let's get the figure out of the box here. Pretty cool backdrop. I like that. Looks like it's it doesn't actually lock into place. But they did make the cutouts in it down there at the bottom. And you fold it together so that it will go around one of the larger diamond bases. That's pretty cool. I like that. And there he is in the box. So you can see where everything is placed on that. What the hell? So it just gets better and better with this figure. Sheesh. So this is the metal. How the hell did I get the most trashy piece of figure around? I mean, golly. Alright. So that's that. Golly. What the hell? This is insane. Yeah. It's like it's even dented there. My goodness. That's insane. I don't know what to say. Hopefully this will be the end of all that, right? Hopefully it gets better. Clear plastic posing stand. Lobster claw with back support. The cape looks really cool. It's really stiff up here at the top. And posable. That's cool. Wire throughout the sides here. No wire down the backs, just on the fronts. For posability of the cape. Like the little patchwork on the inside. Really nice. I'm wondering then, I'd like to compare it maybe with some of the other capes, if this pattern is identical on every one of them, or if there's a slight difference as it goes around. I wonder how true to the pattern they kept every single one of these as they made them. If there were slight differences in each of them, or if they're all exactly identical in the sewing and the placement of the pattern on here. I'd like to see some of the others. And here we see Dr. Stephen Strange with all of his accessories that he comes with. Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, I'm really just impressed with the way that they have been able to capture people's images and likenesses in their faces anymore. This is just absolutely beyond me. He comes with two different sling rings. Each of these is different than the other.
The first one is the one that he was given in the training. There's like a whole tray of them, and each of the students just pick one up, and we see him sliding it on his finger. We get a pretty good shot of it here on his hand, and we get to see him, using it, or knowing that he's using, or this is the one that he is using. So this is his sling ring, but it's a regular sling ring that all the other students have the same ring. Then there's a scene where he loses this ring, and he no longer has this sling ring anymore. It's gone. When his cloak of levitation defends him, Lucian ends up dropping his sling ring. He ends up picking up Lucian's sling ring. We don't get a real good shot of it, but this is it right here. And so he's using that ring. Then he steals Caecilius's ring, and we see it on him here as he's walking down the street. There's no question about it. There's Lucian's ring on the left, Caecilius's ring on the right. And Caecilius, of course, he isn't going to let Doctor Strange keep his ring, so he takes it back. And this is really the only ring we get a really, really, really good shot of. This one's not included with the Hot Toys, but that's Caecilius's ring. So the rings that we get included with this Hot Toy figure are the initial ring given to him in the training, and Lucian's ring, which he takes off of him when it falls off his fingers when his cloak of levitation is defending him.
You know, the only time I ever see him using these are on his left hand with the two fingers. And I'll talk about that here in a minute. They don't give a left hand with his two fingers. We get a right hand here with two fingers. And I like how they do the surgically repaired hand. It's pretty cool. So it definitely has the scarring. But he should have, his left hand should have something to this effect to be able to use the sling rings. So you can put the sling rings on it. We don't get a left hand like that. We get two grasping hands. And again, every one of these are designed with the scarring in them. I'm really impressed with that. It's really cool how they do that. We get two of these conjuring hands. And I'm curious, I don't know, but it's quite possible that this left hand could possibly be repositioned. I mean, it's not designed to move. I'm just saying because of what it's made out of. Possibly if you heat it up and cool it off or something to that effect, you might be able to reposition this to a sling ring hand. I don't know. I don't know if it'd be even worth attempting that. But we do have two spread open hands also. And maybe this one would be better to try to do the sling ring repositioning on. Trying to fold these over, perhaps heating them up, softening them, getting them to fold over. I don't know, let me know if you guys know if that would work or how that would work, or if that would really just damage it in that process. But there's his hands. We get two of these magic casting discs, if you will. And when I first looked at them, I thought they were different. But then upon closer examination, I realized that it's just pressed backwards. So these are really identical from this side here. Let me get them to where, there you go. There's the identical prints. But they are pretty cool. I mean, I like how they did this. They're textured. You can feel them on both front and back. And then, of course, on the back sides, they have the places for the hands to go. So that's where a thumb would go. So this is for his right hand. And this is where the thumb would go. So this is for his left hand. But they are identical, just with this portion of it put on one side or the other. And you get these little green rings. And again, there's a little hand holder right there for that. The green one. Not sure if you can see this really well. And here's the other two pieces that go on his arm. The book is really cool. So it is textured, detailed, cut out, etched. However you want to describe that. Really digging this book. And the book opens up. And guess what? You probably already know this, but there's actual text inside of this. So some of the text is repeated, so it's not all, whatever 100 pages of original text. But it's pretty cool nonetheless. So the instructions show that the sling rings hang, one you would hang here, such, and the other you hang on this cloth piece here. So I noticed while I was doing post-production on this that this little sling ring right here, the one that he picked up from Lucian, he keeps not hanging from this little cloth hoop, but actually slid through it. So I took it and tried to slide it into that, and this hoop is way, way, way too loose to keep that in there safely. There's no way would that stay there, and I would end up losing that sling ring. So I was looking at this belt, and I'm gonna take it off. See if we can't figure something out there. A little snap here on the back. We're just gonna unsnap this. A piece of Velcro here. And then that should just come right off. Oh, here, like such. I don't think that's supposed to be there. Have a look at the inside. Yeah, this you can see belongs right there. So we'll go ahead and glue that back on. And here's a little string here. What we're going to do is we're just going to give this string a tug. Pull it tight. You can tighten it right up. End up with some excess string here. We don't want it too tight. We want to be able to put that sling ring in there. And then what we'll do, we'll just put a little glue in the inside of that, just to hold that in place, to keep that sling ring from coming out. So let's get a little dab of, let's put some CA glue on here, some super glue, crazy glue. And the reason I want to use this is a couple of reasons. One, we're joining multiple product here. This is kind of this is that fake leather. Need to put that back on there where that goes. Let's put a little dab on that. And we want to tighten this up. I mean, I'm not going to pull that out again probably. And I just want to tighten this here. So just going to put a little dab of super glue on there to keep that from sliding out. I mean, it will be able to be pulled out again. It's just to tighten it up is all it's really doing. Let that set. It's trying to make it stiff, really is all I'm trying to do. That should dry hard in just a matter of moments, really. And that should keep that right there where we want it. Without it sliding off. So then we just put them back on. Yeah, it's nice and hard there now. That piece is on there, not going anywhere. And if we wanted to, we could still pull this sling ring out. So. just made it tighter on there. So there we have that. And there's Lucian's sling ring wrapped inside the belt. So one of the complaints I had was that there wasn't a proper sling ring hand. We have this left hand here, which would work. He does kind of sometimes cast with his hand kind of spread open like that. But I don't much care for that. I mean, I wanted his hand to be in this shape. So instead of me destroying this hand, because I wanted to use this also for holding the discs, I bought another set of hands specifically to be able to customize them as such. So I folded over his ring finger and his pinky finger to form this position here, and then glued those into place as such. I also did the same thing with this conjuring hand that he has here. I wanted to make it as well a sling ring hand. So what I did was, when I bought that second set of hands, I just kind of did the opposite on it and stretched up the second finger so that a sling ring can be attached to it. It didn't turn out as well as I had hoped, straightening out that middle finger. If you see, it's a little shiny, and the reason it's a little shiny is because I put some super glue on it to try to strengthen it, to keep it from wanting to bend back down again, and that was the purpose of that. So I wanted to try to get it to stand up straighter to be able to get a sling ring on there. I've got that first knuckle, the first joint there, or the bone on the finger, to be pretty close to the other one, well enough that the sling ring can be attached there. And I'll show you that. Obviously you can see the sling ring on his hand, so I'll show you how I did it to this one. So there you go, there's the sling ring on that hand. So if you want to not have to purchase another set of hands to be able to do that, you can see how I've bent the pinky and the ring finger down and then straightened up the middle finger to put it on there. You could do that with your existing hand, but then you wouldn't have this conjuring position here specifically. So, I mean, that's always an option for you. And or, you know, just with this standard hand, same thing, just did that. Or if you want to neither do either of those, like I was saying, he kind of also has operated a sling ring with his hand kind of open. So, in all truthfulness, this hand here, as it is, would do the sling ring just fine as well in that regards. So there you have that. Putting his rings, green rings on his arms, we just pull the fist off here. And this isn't supposed to come off, so you want to leave that on there. So you can slide this bigger one on first. So there, I suppose. And in this smaller one, a lot of cloth here to deal with. This is kind of a plastic rubber. This piece here is, it doesn't go on too easily. Look at that. It doesn't go on easily at all, actually. I'm not going to force that. And then they show that this hand here, the open right hand, is the one that you would slide into this little grooved area here, but it doesn't really lock in place. So when you put it there, it's just kind of hanging or dangling on there. There's nothing there actually holding it. The thumb doesn't click in any place. It doesn't show the middle two fingers. It actually shows the first two fingers as the fingers you're supposed to do this with. So this doesn't hang on there very well at all. Kind of just dangles there, if you will. Nothing really holding that in, kind of resting there on his crutch of his thumb and first finger. Notice when I pulled the hand off, the wrist peg came with it. It's in there pretty tight. I'll just put this wrist peg in here. He does come with an extra set of wrist pegs. Put this in here as such. And then this would just literally rest on there like so. That's how you would do that. So I don't much like how that's there. I don't like it at all actually. But there is that effect. It says not to take this piece off, and as I'm signing that off, this wants to come with it. That's going to be a problem. Sheesh. So use the same hands for these guys. This kind of locks in there. Actually, it does lock in there. So that actually is holding that. That's the way they should have done the green one too. They just shortened it and really took out the part that really needed to be held. If you notice here, it's those, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky finger that are actually holding it with the thumb. So since they weren't using the thumb, they should have done at least the other three fingers or something for the green. And you know what? Looking at that green, I wonder if those fingers would hold that better. Nope. Maybe those two. No, that's definitely how it's supposed to go. And the first two. Just hanging on there. This is definitely much better. First finger there hangs out. And this is the left hand. Same thing, first finger doesn't hold it in. Middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, and the thumb. Put it in there just nicely. Really put these in there tight. So his grasping hand will hold the book like such. So that's pretty cool. You can have him holding his book. Book really doesn't stay open for him to be using it for like a casting. Definitely not one to stay open. We get two Eye of Agamottos, closed and an open. I like that the green is shiny and reflective. It's pretty cool. And they put detail all around it. I like that they did that. Both the portions that go around his neck are designed the same strings. The cape attaches with magnets. There's actual little magnets here. Not that it's really necessary because it's also wired, so it's pretty stiff. So I'm pretty impressed with the likeness of this figure. Definitely looks like Benedict Cumberbatch, no doubt about it. And that just continually blows me away. And as stated before, each of these head sculpts, especially hand painted, which makes every one of these a true work of art. Whenever you're buying a Hot Toys figure, you're not just buying a mass-produced toy per se, because every one of these head sculpts is hand painted. So articulations on Doctor Strange. His head and neck are all one piece. So the head will not pivot without the neck. So that's going to limit how much head movement you actually can get. I'm going to get him up past that. That's as far down as he gets. He will be able to go to the left or right. And of course he can spin all the way around. But because the head and the neck are one piece, you're not going to get much head and neck pivot there. You do get, of course, shoulder joint movement. There's a bicep swivel right here, and the elbow will come all the way up, and of course will straighten all the way down. You get the wrist movement with a ball joint hand peg, which comes out of the wrist, out of the arm easier than it does the hand. So I would recommend definitely, if you're going to stretch out the hands, to definitely put one of these pegs in every hand that you're planning on using, and don't worry about trying to fight this. This is tight. It's looser and more loose in there, so that's where it's going to want to loosen out of. You get a bend in the upper portion of the torso, and then of course a bend at the waist. So you're going to have two pivot points, pivot here and a pivot there, and his clothing is really binding for that manner. You're not going to get much bend because of his clothing. His clothing is wrapped up really good. His legs, you can kick them forward quite a bit, and the back goes back about that far. So the forward will go up further than the back will. The knees will bend all the way up so he can kick himself in the butt. But the boot is all one piece, so you're not going to get much ankle pivot there. You have a total movement here, all the way around. And there's about the extent of the boot. So it's not like some of the Captain America boots where you can actually do some movement. Not much movement. Actually, there's no movement there at all. I really like the design on the boots, though. Did a really good job there. Like the little tassels everywhere. It's really cool. So his costume is designed well. I like how they did that. That's impressive. So he's definitely a carryover piece. You know, if you're a Doctor Strange fan from the movies, I think this is definitely one you want to get a hold of. You don't want to pass on this figure. Although, he will be in the Infinity Wars, possibly even in Thor. I think I've seen him in the Thor trailers. I can't imagine them making a Thor Doctor Strange. They might. But he's definitely going to be in the Infinity Wars. So we may see another Doctor Strange coming out from the Thor Ragnarok movie, and then definitely a Doctor Strange from Infinity Wars. So a whole collection of Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange comes from the, the supernatural portions of Marvel, and it's cool that they brought this about, and I think he's going to be instrumental in Infinity Wars, no doubt about that. So thanks for watching, everyone. Leave your comments below. Tell me what you think of this figure. Do you think Benedict Cumberbatch did a pretty good job bringing Doctor Strange to life? Are you going to hold off and wait to see if there's going to be a Doctor Strange from the other movies that's going to be released as a figure? Are you a longtime Doctor Strange fan and can't wait to add this to your collection? Follow me on Facebook, Siri Emerald, Twitter, Siri Emerald. Follow me on Pinterest and Instagram. Subscribe to me on Patreon. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing for you guys. Share this video with your friends. And to see more videos that I made, you'll find them posted on the right here. Thanks again for watching, everyone. See you in the next video. Happy collecting.